Hello friends, I'm Professor Filip Kovacevic, and this is the 72nd edition of the Russian newspaper's Monitor. It makes me very happy to be able to tell you that my university graduate level course on Anglo-American and Russian geopolitics, produced by the Newsbud Academy, is now available for purchase as a DVD.
Since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions.
Sweeping geopolitical changes have unfolded over the past century, with nations and alliances rising to power while others have crumbled. For generations, the United States has been the sole dominating power in world politics, but nothing lasts forever.
This military action, taken in accord with United Nations resolutions and with the consent.
Today, our armed forces joined our NATO allies in airstrikes against Serbian forces.
On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability.
In this ever-changing and complicated world, we are now witnessing nations jockeying for position to challenge U.S. hegemony, bringing the unipolar era to an end, with the rise of a new multipolar era, and with it, a new balance of power. The transition into this new multipolar era may not be a simple or peaceful one, as the West will do everything in its power to maintain its leverage that shapes the world we live in today, including waging wars both openly and covertly. In this critical time of uncertainty and change, a greater need for understanding is crucial, and Newsbud Academy offers the conceptual tools to understand, explain, and even predict political events which are shaking to the core the political status quo all across the world.
This course is unique in two respects. First, I put together both the key arguments of the Anglo-American geopolitics and the Russian geopolitics, based on the years of my investigation and research of the topic. Secondly, this course is unique because it is guided by my practical experience of geopolitics, where I lived in Montenegro and was a well-known figure on the political scene.
Now available on DVD is the first Newsbud Academy presented by Professor Filip Kovacevic. This is a two-part graduate-level course that you will not find anywhere else. Professor Kovacevic presents a series of information-packed lectures where he presents the texts and concepts of the top minds that founded modern-day Anglo-American and Russian geopolitics. Part 1 focuses on the Anglo-American geopolitics and the works of Halford Mackinder, Alfred Thayer Mahan, and Nicholas Speakman, who played a significant role in shaping the ideology of Henry Kissinger and Zbigniew Brzezinski, who is also covered in this course. Part 2 covers Pan-Slavism and Eurasianism, two somewhat opposing views which shape today's landscape of Russian geopolitics, focusing on the works of Russian scholars and military officers such as Nikolai Danilevsky and Peter Savitsky, and their contemporary advocates Yevgeny Primakov and Alexander Dugin. Most of this material has never been presented in English before and is largely unknown to Western audiences.
I'm confident that in this course you'll find a well-balanced and harmonious mix of theory and practice. I hope that the knowledge you gain makes you a more informed individual and citizen and helps you to understand all the devious games that the global elites have been playing with us, ordinary people, for centuries.
Order your copy today at newsbud.com.
Now, let's go to this week's Russian newspaper's Monitor. In this edition, I will present the highlights of a major speech by the Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered to the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation. I will also examine the methods that the US government has employed to decrease the sales of Russian weapons on the global market and thus deny the Russian state a significant source of foreign currency and international influence. In addition, I will discuss the possible causes of another deadly Russian airplane crash, this time near the Russian airbase Khmeimim in Syria. Lastly, I will look at important demographic issues in the Crimean Peninsula. Do not miss this exclusive edition of the Russian newspaper's Monitor.